Alright, and here we go as we are spawning at the top right with this blue Protoss from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Hero.
And at the bottom left, we have from Shopify Rebellion, Byun.
So we are back at it again with another World Team League. This is going to be taking place in the round of 9. And of course there is a total of 11 rounds throughout the regular season. So we're getting into the nitty gritty. We're getting near the end where all these wins and losses is going to result in where these teams end up.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Of course, Shopify Rebellion, very well known, but Dragon Phoenix Gaming, kind of known as one of the titans in StarCraft.
Yeah, for sure. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the last time I checked, they were sitting at atop at the group standing. So they are a beast of a team. I mean, they have like some of the best players. Hero, which I think people can consider right now as maybe the best Protoss out there. Maybe a creator, besides creator. But they also have Rogue, who is one of the best Zergs out there. So they are. They also have Dark as well. So they have like a stacked team for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I always find it so interesting seeing Rogue and Dark play because they're kind of like two halves of the same coin. They both are Zerg, but they definitely have different styles. Now, here we have Byun going for a little bit of a cheeky bunker. It's directly within vision of the Nexus, so Hero is going to send down that probe. Oh! SCV getting kind of low on health.
Nice denial there, but looks like Reaper will come in. Gets one probe. Can he get a second one? Looks like that Zealot will shoo away this Reaper for the time being. Never mind. Looks like he's going to just go ahead and... Oh, nice.
Wow. Very nice micro from Byun. I mean, it is Byun, so... Oh, no way. He's making so much use out of this Reaper, just making sure that the Zealot doesn't ever catch up. Oh, and here we have a second Reaper, so... Okay, they are going to go back down to the low ground for now, but... It kind of looks like they wanted to contest, possibly.
Yeah, looks like his buddy will go ahead and join up into the fight. Alright, for the time being, looks like Twilight Council will be Hero's choice. And of course, Hero, he has been really kind of the redefining Protoss as making very good use of these gateway units. He's one of those Protosses that makes heavy use of gateway units throughout the game. And I mean, this is like not just PvT, but also in PvZ.
Yeah, his Stalker Zealot play is pretty interesting because typically, you think of Zealots as pretty good damage dealers against Terrans. You think of them as fodder against Zerg. And on the other hand, in both matchups, Stalkers are really just utility, simply because they're able to shoot at range and they're able to shoot up as well. But Hero has just been making a big name for himself using only a handful of these gateway units.
Yeah, which is usually not the case throughout the recent past. I mean, usually Protosses will mix in, the more higher tier units. But he's been playing very much like a Swarm Toss and has made really good use of it. He has won a lot of games playing this style. So, I mean, I guess might as well go with it if it works.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Swarm Toss. I don't think I've ever heard that before, so...
Yeah, it's kind of like the idea is just to make a lot of units and just trying to overwhelm your opponent through numbers.
Right. You know what? That kind of reminds me of Battle Mech, where you go Cyclone Hellion against a Zerg, and you outmine them, and you take more bases than the Zerg does, so... Kind of interesting.
Yeah, this kind of strategy involves just out macroing your opponent, just expanding like crazy, more frequent and more faster compared to how one would usually play. So You usually see like the Protosses with this playstyle just expand like crazy. Kind of
Right,
like you said, like when Terran plays with that kind of style, and as well as Zergs, who in general likes to out expand their opponent.
So it looks like we have a pretty macro-oriented game here. Byun going for that later +1 attack. Of course, Stim and Combat Shield are going to finish right now, but I don't think he's going to try to hit a timing. All the bios at home. So yeah, it looks like Hero is going to be able to, nice pick off on the Cyclones, but he's going to be able to get Colossi plus Colossus range out before +1 hits.
The question is, will he be able to get it in time? Units are making his way across the map. Actually, going to go ahead and load them up into the medevac. Going to make a double medevac drop instead. We did see the observer onto the far right side, so Hero, in theory, should be able to spot this in time. But does he have any units? It looks like he will go ahead and start moving his units towards the main here. Should be able to help defend.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Byun is going to find any sort of major room over in the main base. Actually, losing a medevac costing him quite a few infantry units, so not the best use of his APM. Hero looking to stay ready as this push comes across the map as well. Now, what do you think of the Widow Mines? I feel like they might be better against Zealots, but I'm not too sure against Stalkers, especially with Hero's micro.
Yeah, I mean, considering since he has more range units in his army composition, such as the Stalkers and the Colossuses, you know, Widow Mine not the ideal units, but it could help out. You know, you could sprinkle in a little bit just to help out with these charge lot at the front side. If you can take out the charge lot, you can potentially just stem up on top of your opponent's Colossus and take them out. So I think it's okay if he can sprinkle in a little bit. I don't think he should overdo it, just make a bunch. But anyhow, here we go. Looks like gonna go ahead and take the fight out in the middle here, which is a little bit risky for Hero. Instead of fighting, you know, towards his third nexus and fighting near the shield batteries, he's going to go ahead and feel confident enough to take on the army of Byun out in the middle. So just got to be careful, because you don't want to go ahead and get into a situation where you're kind of out in the middle and you get surrounded and you can't retreat in time.
Right. Yeah, that was a pretty bold move by Hero, but it did end up paying off. He pushed back Byun, and he was able to keep the Widow Mines from, you know, finding good positions. Now, a few of them did go off, but it wasn't the biggest loss for Hero.
Yeah, a little bit of a poke here. Wasn't really as committed, so looks like all in all, Hero should be all right. And here we go. The gateway explosion is happening. Hero gonna go ahead and also expand, so you should see the unit explosion coming very soon as these gateways are completely done. And we'll keep an eye out on that War Prism as well, because right now I don't think there's too much in the main base of Byun, so that could be pretty deadly.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with the third base right below. You know, you could drop a few in the third base as well. So here we go. The Warp Prism is going to make its way into the main base, dropping off 4 Zealots. Immediately the SCVs are pulled. So this is going to tax some of Byun's APM. Actually, it looks like Byun might be pulling back his army because there are so many Zealots. All of a sudden, the third is being taken over as well. So a lot of lost mining time. Bio does come back in time to deal with these 3 Zealots. But yeah, pretty good use of run buys, you know, making sure that Hero buys himself enough time to be able to sort of stock up on the main army, disruptors, DTs, whatnot, before the main push comes across.
Yeah, that was a crucial moment to buy time, because the army supply of Byun just was really high. Had a much larger army compared to Hero, so now Hero buying enough time to get those disruptors out and extra Colossus and maybe some additional warpins. I think Hero should be relatively alright, as long as he's not caught out of position. And look there, the observer once again spotting that army spotting that potential drop onto the right. Oh my goodness.
Oh, talk about potential drops. This is the mother of all drops. Look at that. Oh, very nice. Keen eye catching the observers. I mean, I can never see any observer in any game. But yeah, this is definitely a giant drop. So nice. Hallucinated Phoenix does spot the ground army over at the bottom, but up here on the high ground, a recall is forced. Shield battery overcharge is popped. Good Stalker Micro for now. Disruptors are on the field. They are going to take care of some of these bio units, but yeah, this drop was handled relatively well. Now we do see a lot of Stalkers falling, but the Colossi are still holding strong. The rest of the bio is going to get cleaned up. Over at the front side as well, we do have charge lots as well as one additional Colossus to help drive away that double-pronged push. So Byun maybe a little bit disappointed. I don't think he quite found the damage that he really wanted.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think usually any Protoss would really, kind of be tough. It would be tough for them to hold on to that. I mean, that was a huge drop. I mean, you can almost call that a doom drop of some sort. It looks like Byun is going for it once again, and I gotta say, Hero did defend that first huge drop pretty well. Can he defend it again?
Ooh.
As well.
Wow, both Colossi just get blasted down. So now the main army, the charge lots and additional Stalkers have to come up into the main base. Now, good thing there isn't another sort of harass or frontal push going around on the main side, because this doom drop was pretty critical. There were a few more losses that time, but yeah, Hero having that game sense to be able to split his army off, at least initially.
Yeah, Hero has been splitting off his army really well here, even forced a recall in the previous one. So, Byun not quite able to find the damage he wants to. And usually this is the scenarios where he would find damage, where he's splitting off his army, doing multiple prong attacks. But Hero holding strong for now.
Wouldn't mind not quite able to go off. DTs are actually getting a lot of damage done. Now, this is not a planetary. It does not have any detection, so it is a little bit vulnerable. Bio is going to come back. Oh, that is a wasted scan, but not too bad at this stage in the game. Now, both players are just looking to max out and really, I mean, we've got ourselves a macro game here. This is they're both in it for the long haul.
Yeah, it seems like it. I don't see this game ending anytime soon, as both players are pretty much near maxed out. Well, at least Byun is. Hero gonna go ahead and once again try to harass. Will he use the recall? Nope. Okay, never mind. I thought he was gonna actually just turn them into Archon and lead them, but we'll use the recall in the end.
Okay, so this 4 Colossus army is looking to try to make a move. The Zealots earlier, they kind of got wiped out by the bio, so that really shows the strength of this bio once you get up into higher numbers. More Disruptors are on the production tab, but so are the Ghosts, so this is going to turn into more of a late game scenario, I think.
Yeah, I mean, both players are trying to get geared towards to that late game army composition. You see the Ghost being added into Byun's army, while Hero stacking up on those disruptor counts. I would love to see him start transitioning either to carriers maybe, or adding in some Archons of some sort. Always good to add in the third splash damage unit.
Right.
He does have the economy for it, and he does have a semi-bank of some sort, so he can start transitioning. But in the meantime, it looks like he wants to just go ahead and try to engage Byun's army out in the front. Disruptor hits, not finding anything. So nice kiting there by Byun.
Yeah, I think that Disruptors, they can be kind of funny where at lower levels, they're really a make it or break it type of unit. And then at the higher levels, they're really just a zoning tool, same as other serious methods of Splash. Now, speaking of Splash, a lot of good EMPs went down on those Stalkers, so now it's going to be the bio forcing the Stalker army back. Ooh, and this is a really nice catch. The bio is going to force the cancel on that new Nexus. At the same time, a huge Zealot run by is going down. More Disruptor hits are coming out. Oh! That was a lot of Marauders going down. a lot more going down. Look at the supply. Both players are trading out, but Hero, because he has a bank and he's relying mostly on gateway units, he's going to be able to remax much quicker than Byun.
Yeah, not only that, he has the upgrade lead. He's sitting at 3-3 versus 2-2, so his army is going to be more superior compared to Byun. So right now, Byun is going to have to somehow, some way, buy enough time to get that 3-3. And it looks like he's going to try to attempt to do another drop in order to distract Hero, but Hero, he's knocking at the front door. Will be able to take down that CC. I think that CC will be set on fire to death.
Oh! Wow, I thought that was going to go so much worse for Hero, but Byun managed to kind of actually trade out. Oh, wow, look at that. A recall was even forced. So there was just the right amount of bio to drop. You know, not 2 medevacs, but also not like 5 like we saw earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Just the right amount to force the army back. Wow.
So, yeah, really good trade there by Hero, taking down CC. As well as being able to defend at home with relatively little losses. And it looks like Hero once again gonna go ahead and push on forward. And TeaDragon, I'm a little bit afraid here for our red Terran.
I kind of am. At the same time, if the bio can jump on top of these Colossi as they are now, I mean, the first 2 are gonna go down. But I don't know. You know, the supply tells the whole story. Byun is basically all in at this point. All the Colossi do go down, but we still have Stalkers, we still have Disruptors, and we have those charge lots, those meaty charge lots, as well as DTs. Look at this, DTs coming into the natural. Oh, a bit of a misclick. Byun accidentally firing on the supply depot. I think he also knows writing is on the wall. Hero's supply is not dipping, but his own is, so I think this could be it.
Yeah, Hero gonna go ahead and try to march on forward, bulldoze his way through the Terran forces. Or at least what remains of the Terran force, as there we have it. Byun's gonna GG out, and Hero, he will be our winner for game number 1. Alright, so we didn't quite see the swarm toss strategy from Hero in the last game. I think because of Byun's constant pressure, it didn't allow Hero to kind of just max expand and go crazy on those gateways. He was a bit more reserved, but that's a great thing about Hero. He can adapt to the situation, and that was the right call, because in the end, you know, Hero ended up winning.
Yeah, I found it pretty interesting how he stayed on Stalker, Zealot, Colossus, Disruptor for basically the whole game. I agreed with you. I was like, why don't we see some Storm? Why don't we see some other kind of tech? But obviously he did not need it, right? So maybe that was a little bit of that swarm toss flavor coming out. Maybe all of those resources went into Zealots rather than, you know, other tech.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if your opponent is not going to play to the playstyle in which favors your playstyle, then you might as well, you gotta have to adapt to it. You gotta kind of change up a little bit of your strategy a bit, and that's exactly what Hero did. Now, this is going to be a completely different game on Curious Minds. This is a map that, I mean, for the most part, you know, if you look at the bird's eye views, there's not a lot of bases. There's only like 6 bases per person, so it's not one of those crazy large maps. However, the bases are quite spread out, so that does, to me, favor that kind of a swarm toss playstyle of Hero, because, you know, with the additional weapons, you can defend multiple areas a bit easier compared to, let's say, a Colossus opening, where it's a bit slower. It's harder for your Colossus to bounce back between your natural, your main, and your third base.
Yeah. For sure. Now, speaking of spread out, this Reaper does have quite some distance to cover, so the Shade, to demonstrate your point, is able to keep up. Oh, and very interesting. Hero going for a Stargate opener. So, what do you think? Is Hero actually going to go sort of a Sky Toss type of style, or is this really just for like a first Oracle or a first Phoenix or something?
Yeah, I think to me it's going to be like one of those like open up with Oracle or Phoenixes, and then the rest of the minerals will go into gateways.
Right, right.
So you do see, you know, like maybe 7, 8 phoenixes, and then the rest into just like maybe either a depths or a charge lot, something like that, to
Right.
defend at least any pushes.
Now we do see Byun responding with a Viking of his own. Nice bit of mind placement, making sure that nothing can sort of walk up the front door.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Home Alone, setting a booby trap into the front door.
Oh man, let me tell you, those burglars were dead after the first 5 minutes. Like, if the movie adhered to real life physics, real world physics, no, they're done.
That's the magic of the movies, right? You things that normally will kill someone.
Played off as humor. Yep. Oh man, speaking of which, I don't know if you heard, Snoopy, but a lot of those ghosts in the last game that kept dying, a lot of the Marines and the Zealots too, they were so extra. Like, I know how extra they are in the English, not texture pack, sorry. I've been playing too much Minecraft. In the English language pack, but I think this is on the Korean, possibly, language pack, so it was just so crazy, and I found that pretty funny.
Yeah, their death voices, like,
Yeah. Okay, so Byun opening up pretty safe. We see that Raven opener, so making sure that nothing like a DT warp in or anything like that is going to get to him. At the same time, Hero taking a pretty late third base in lieu of a robotics bay. Wait, the bay is the tech, right? And then the facility is the production.
Yeah.
Right. So he's going for a bay, that way he can possibly get up to Colossi, kind of like last game. Or who knows, maybe even Disruptors.
Yeah, you will have the option. Actually, starting off with an Immortal, interesting. Oh, never mind, he cancels it. Gonna go ahead and start up that Colossus Sec, as well as the Thermal Lance. So, kind of very similar to the previous game, except did open up with the Phoenixes, of course. So the Colossus Sec will be a tad bit delayed compared to the previous game, but all in all, things are looking pretty standard.
Yeah, not bad for a little poking with the Phoenixes. I mean, barely losing any whole health shield. Or, well, they lost some shields, but that's about it. I mean, that's basically free damage, so I think Hero's pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. One Phoenix did actually go down. So it looks like they will scout out that this push is coming out across the map. Could be a little bit scary. We'll have to see.
Yeah, right now he only has one Colossus, and Thermal Lance not quite done yet, so... Oh, and there goes the interference matrix.
Yeah. Decent force fields, but they were not going to keep the bio back for long. The interference matrix is finally going to wear off. Looks like Byun has decided that he's actually overstayed his welcome. Looks like he will be splitting off a couple of medevacs up towards the north. Does drop them out as soon as the Phoenixes arrive. So both players really keeping each other on their toes here in the early stages of this game.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of the pros of going up for Phoenixes. Not only do they provide harassment, but they also provide some great defensive capabilities, keeping an eye out on where your opponents are, your opponent's army are. And ooh, this is a little bit of a sloppy engagement though here for Hero.
Oh, good thing he has the second Colossus, but is that one going to stay alive for long? It looks like it will. The Immortals backing up the Colossus, able to shell away at those Marauders, so finally the bio does get pushed back. But all in all, I'd say that's a pretty favorable trade for the Terran, right? You're able to reset the, or not fully reset, but sort of at least partially reset the higher tech, higher tier unit count of the Protoss opponent, so...
Yeah, he kind of caught Hero in a kind of an awkward position, so was able to chisel away at Hero's army, and now his Colossus count is a little bit resetted. Oh, you can see Widowmine kill something. Not quite sure what that was, but
I think it was a Zealot or... Oh, maybe an Immortal. I'm not sure. No, actually, I think it was the Probe because that Probe went to go make the Pylon, I believe. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Wow, look at that. 3 ghosts at a time. Byun is... I mean, he's ahead on the supply. Now he's going to be pretty ahead in the tech as well.
Yeah, Byun is he's sitting pretty. It's pretty much his kind of pace right now. He's the one in the driver's seat as he's kind of dictating the game here. He's the one deciding to attack. You know, Hero right now he's sitting a little bit more of a defensive posture, trying to build up to his 3 Colossus count, and then potentially as well get the upgrades for the +1 armor and the as well as blink and charge.
Yep, like you said, up to 3 Colossi, and now the Robo is going to start pumping out Disruptors. Of course, when the Terran responds with Vikings, Disruptors are pretty much your only immediately accessible choice. You know, if you try to go for Storm, that does require additional tech. Now, Templar Archives and the Storm upgrade, they don't take too long, but it's still another investment that you have to make. So Bio is going to move forward, picking off the low ground Pylon. Actually forcing Hero back. He is a little bit out of position. Oh, that is unfortunate. Look at that. The Disruptor dies as soon as it pops out of the Robo facility. So Interference Matrices going down once again. And look at that. So many EMPs. The Stalkers and the Zealots just are not able to engage properly.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the shield batteries here, but this is quite a tight choke here, so it's kind of hard for Hero to retreat, especially with those gateways up blocking the retreat a little bit. Byun is going to pull ahead in terms of the overall supply. More red dots streaming across the minimap, and all that's left are a bunch of Stalkers, and those death sounds.
Oh man, even the Marauders, you know. GG is called. Byun is going to take game number 2.